is the new Secretary of Defense. That tattoo on his chest is called the Jerusalem Cross. The Jerusalem Cross, right? You go through the history a little bit, find out the modern use for the symbol. It was a symbol of the German Evangelical Church Congress in the 50s. So I went to go look up the German Evangelical Church. German Evangelical, scroll down. I posted a video stating that Trumpsters thought this was a sporting event, and I was wrong. They knew exactly who they were putting in office. They knew exactly who they were putting in office.
Cold. Bye, Felicia.
The video over a young woman heading back home during the polar vortex after her car was impounded by police.
Lock and shit. In the cold. Bye, Felicia.
The video, apparently taken by a cop's cell phone, was posted on Snapchat. Look at the racially provocative title, What Black Girl Magic Looks Like. And this, celebrating Black History Month. The young woman was pulled over initially for an expired registration. The temperature that night in Detroit was 2 degrees, minus 18 degrees with the wind chill.
Priceless.
I was upset. It's crazy.
WDIV-TV spoke to 23-year-old Ariel Moore, the woman seen in the video.
I wasn't called for. I mean, it hurt me.
Detroit Police Chief James Craig.
I'm angry because this was a racially insensitive post that has "Bye Felicia," and that's derogatory.
Bye Felicia is a dismissive way of saying goodbye. The officer who shot the video has been demoted.
I called the mother personally. I expressed how concerned I was on how her daughter was treated.
Chief Craig says Ariel was asked if she wanted an escort to her home, which was just a block away, but she declined.
Even a judge.
Wait, family court is not a court of law. You can look it up and find out for yourself. Family court is called a court of equity. However, if you are dealing with a child support hearing, in most cases, that is a child support magistrate, and that person who was in that proceeding in most cases is not even a judge.
This judge who President Biden pardoned, I personally know him. I was the chief of police in his jurisdiction. I arraigned prisoners in front of him. He sentenced people that I arrested. I personally know this guy for years. And let me tell you what a bad guy he is, okay? Wait here. Watch this documentary. Kids for cash. Kids for cash. What does kids for cash mean? Well, this judge right here would put kids into jail for money. Yes, there was a private juvenile facility in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Okay, private. Okay, not public. And the more kids they got into that juvenile facility, the more money this company made. So they made a deal with this judge. More people he put in jail, they would give him kickbacks. He put thousands of kids in jail for absolutely no reason and ruined their lives. And your president let him go. It's unbelievable. Kids' lives were ruined because of this guy. I know it personally. This is a crock of crap. It really is. This one takes the topper.
$250 million. That's a lot of money.
Line in the sand moment was when I found out that GSA had awarded a contract to a company to transport unaccompanied minors.
What was that like for you?
It was like someone kicked me in my gut. Once I found out about the contract, I that night I got on my computer and I started doing a Google search.
Action obligation $40 million. Total contract value $347 million. That's over $250 million. That's a lot of money to transport unaccompanied children. I mean, this is a big money business.
And that's why we're sitting here today, because as I shared before, what you know, you cannot unknow.
What the CIA and the Defense Department have been doing for a long time as far as using us as guinea pigs for mind control and other types of horrible things they have in mind for us and the rest of the people in the world. What are some of them?
Well, it started out basically with the CIA doing experimentations on their own men to discover if they could get rid of agents who were going to quit the department and still had classified information. So they utilized different types of drugs and pain and hypnosis and electric shock to try and get the guys to forget. Then they also did experimentations to using different chemicals to see if you can induce a person to commit a crime or induce him to do that or to do this. Of course, the CIA claimed they didn't carry it through. The documentation we got was actually that they did that. Then we came across the overall project called MK Ultra. Its earlier code name was Artichoke, and that included 149 sub-projects. And those sub-projects range from what I just described to open-air testing in the United States, like experimentation on prisoners, experimentation on soldiers, experimentation on college students.
Would these people know they were being experimented on and gave their approval?
No.
It seemed unthinkable to question whether a corporation would poison us for profit. Eggs became heart disease cholesterol bombs, and Honey Nut Cheerios got labeled heart healthy. The default human condition in the 21st century is obese by design. Specific, traceable forms of what's referred to as structural violence are created by the catastrophic quartet of big farming, big food, big pharma, and big insurance.
If you learned anything, the government is keeping you sick. If you think of their food pyramid, it's a diabetic.
Charms are healthier than a fried egg. Did you see that?
It's a diabetic pyramid. 50% of people in the United States are diabetic or pre-diabetic. You need to get rid of the simple carbs. They did a study at the Mayo Clinic, and they looked at people who had a fat-based diet. Fish, avocados, nuts and seeds, healthy oils. 42% less risk of getting Alzheimer's disease. Think about that. People had a protein-based diet, so think of a caveman diet. 21% less risk risk of getting Alzheimer's disease. The people who were on the standard American diet, bread, pasta, potatoes, rice, fruit juice, sugar, had a 400% increased risk of getting Alzheimer's disease. It's the food.
Wrapped up like a juice, another runner in the night, blinded by the night. Wrapped up like a juice, another runner in the night, blinded, blinded. That man draw the Palestinians in the summer with the teenage diplomat. In the dark.
Boy who passed away following a 911 call for help. The dispatcher hung up on the caller. The boy had been wounded during a drive-by shooting. As he lay there in distress, dying. A frantic woman who apparently knew the teen calls 911, tries to communicate to the dispatcher what's going on, what help she needs. She's obviously distressed, excited. Who wouldn't be? Listen to this.
You know, man, you can do it yourself. I'm not going to do it, okay?
Oh my God, this isn't a Starbucks. This is somebody's life on the line. Are you kidding me?
Wow. It's that dispatcher from the Albuquerque Fire. Boy.
A lot of what happens on Wall Street seems like a scam. Elon Musk's Twitter thing is one of the best examples. People argue that you cannot tax billionaires on the shares that they hold in a company because it is an unrealized gain. So they go like, yeah, you're worth 300 billion, but we can't tax you on those stocks because you haven't sold the shares. So you don't have the money, right? But you're worth the money, but you don't have the money. And I understand the argument. They go like, no, you don't have it. It's just what it's worth because it will also crash. And then you have nothing. So we can't tax you on it. Then I'm like, okay, I understand that. So you can't tax people on a thing because they don't have it. It's just there. Then Elon Musk offers to buy Twitter. He now goes to private equity and banks and like other rich people and whatever. He goes like, can you guys borrow me the money to buy Twitter? Because I don't want to sell any of my Tesla shares. But then they're like, what are we loaning it against? And he's like, well, my Tesla shares. Then I'm going like, wait, so you can buy a thing based on what you have. Yes. But when we want to tax you, you can say, I don't have it. It's like such a fun game that like billionaires get to play.
I'm going to show you something so evil to really shock you. And it is certainly something that the Talmudic rabbis do not want people to understand. Tractate Ketubot, Part 1. You can see it right there, treated as non-virgins. If a grown-up man has intercourse with a less than 3 years old, are you seeing this? And they're not condemning this. Or if a young boy less than 9 years old has had with a grown woman, or if a woman has been injured by a stick and as a result has been ruptured. In each of these cases, the woman is entitled to a ketubah of 200 denarim when she marries. Okay, and you can keep on reading there. You can pause it and read it if you really want to. Now, I take great issue with that. My son, which I mentioned earlier, is 10 years old. And according to this Satanism right here, a woman, a Jewish woman, could have a relationship with my 10-year-old.